Hello, hello. It's wonderful to meet you. My name is Lee, and I am going to be your New Year's resolution coach. Yeah, so I've heard that this year that you wanted a bit of help with deciding and keeping track of your New Year's goals. Is that right? All right, well, that is exactly my specialty. So, what I'm going to do is just guide you through a little questionnaire so I can get a good feel about your ideal goals. And after we decide our goals, then we're going to focus on specific tasks that you can do to make sure that these resolutions are actually carried forward, okay? All right. So, let me just get my notepad because I want to take down your thoughts. Okay, so the first thing that I need to learn about you is what would you like for yourself? As in, what do you feel as though your life is missing or that you would like to change? Just any, this could be like in a positive sense, like an ambition you want to follow through with, or reducing a negative aspect. Either way. Mm-hmm. Great, great. All right. Uh-huh. Okay. I think this is a pretty good list that we have here. So, what I would like to do with this list is I would like you to reflect on what you just told me. And I want you to consider what of the things that you told me feel the most important to you. The things that you feel most urgently need change or need action to follow through with. How about you choose maybe 5 of the things that you told me, so 4 more, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, yeah, I can definitely see a workable pattern with these goals. So, what I'm going to do next is bring out my little whiteboard because I'm going to be writing down our goals. So I think that what you just told me can boil down to 3 attainable goals for the new year. So the first one I would like to propose to you is being more organized. Okay, does that sound reasonable? Okay, so what can we do to make sure that you can actually do this? Because I think it's easy to say that people ought to be more organized, but it's more difficult to actually enact that. So, I think something that you would benefit from is going through your items and making sure that all of them are things that you feel as though you need to keep. So, getting rid of things you don't need. I personally think the Marie Kondo method is very useful for this, and part of that is going around and touching your objects and asking yourself, does this make me feel joy? And if the answer is no, then it's not likely to be something that you actually need. Does that make sense? Although it's also important to keep around practical items and things that will help you out in a pinch, even if they don't necessarily bring you joy. So, another part of this is having a space for everything and then making sure you use it. So, making sure everything has its own space. So things that you can do to actually accomplish this, I think, and for most people, it starts with acquiring some storage items, either purchasing or secondhand. And when you have more storage space, then it's easier to make sure that all of your items have a designated place where they're supposed to go when they're not in use. And so, in the short term, you acquire those spaces for your items, and in the long term, you make sure that the things keep returning there. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. I think that is a good starting place for your first resolution. Okay? So I think let's move on to the second one. So I hear your goals about health and nutrition, and I feel like that could be best summed up by trying to eat in a way that makes you feel good. So, So, I think the most important step in this is learning to conflate the taste of things to how it makes you feel afterwards. So, in the short term, it might seem like really worthwhile to have some junk food, but I think afterwards you're much more likely to feel lethargic and kind of down in the dumps. And I think that's much less likely to happen after having a wholesome meal. Do you agree? Yeah. So, I'll say for the first task, think about how you'll feel. And I think another task that would be simple enough to accomplish this is trying to go for simpler food options. But going for foods with less additives, less added sugars, and more things that just contain the natural nutrition of the food. I think that really helps for giving your body useful and healthy nutrition. Okay, so I'm gonna write that one down. So choose simpler foods. All right, does that sound feasible? Okay, so in order to not overwhelm you with too many goals, I'm going to just narrow it down to 3, okay? So one more that I think is doable, and this one I think will involve a little less active mental process and more just something you can do every now and again, is be more charitable. Yeah, I think that one aligns with your priorities pretty well. So, I think this is a nice thing to just kind of add on, because you really only need to think about it every now and again. It's not like a constant upkeep sort of thing like organization or nutrition. It's just something that you can improve the world a little bit, sort of passively. So I think kind of a underrated part of being charitable is doing thorough research on who you are donating to and where that money is going. So I'm going to make the first task, which I think is a good short-term task, is look into reputable charities. Because the unfortunate fact of the matter is that a lot of charitable organizations, so called, siphon quite a lot of the money given for the purposes of whatever philanthropy they claim to do, and they take a lot of that money for themselves and for self-promotion, and a lot of it does not go to the goal at hand. So it's very important to make sure before you donate where that money is going. So I think it helps to go local. I think it helps to go smaller. I think it helps to keep in mind that the more advertisements you see, the more money they're spending on that, and the less they're spending on actual philanthropy. Okay, so that's a good first step. And then the second step to maintain that is setting aside some money every month to go to those purposes. And another way that you can do this is look into how to give your time, because a lot of these places operate by the help of volunteers, and you have the potential to help a lot just by showing up and being there and helping things run smoothly. So let's put down, see how you can donate your time. So, what do you think about this list of resolutions? Great, great. So, the next thing that I would like to discuss is a very important facet of maintaining a resolution is preparing appropriate rewards for yourself. So let me just get my notebook once again. What do you personally consider to be rewarding? Or if you would like to receive a gift or an experience, what would you choose for yourself? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Okay, yeah, I think we have some highly workable rewards in there. So, okay. So, what I need you to do is I need you to keep those things that you told me in mind and choose an incremental amount of time. Maybe it's every week, maybe it's every other week, maybe it's every month, and choose a proportionally sized reward for what you have accomplished in the past month. So maybe you want to replace the things that you got rid of that you didn't care so much about with some new things that you really wanted. Or maybe you want to set aside some money for travel or experiences that you're excited for. Just choose whatever feels most motivating to you at the time, because I don't want to stick you with a reward that won't feel all that rewarding in a month's time. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so a part of our New Year's resolution coach service is that we do monthly check-ins to see how you're doing on your progress and help you reorient back towards your goals. So, if you could just, is there a particular day of the month that tends to work for you? Okay. So, these little check-ins wouldn't be very long. I think they tend to be about 15 to 30 minutes in length. And they don't have to be in person either. It can be virtual if that's more convenient. But if that's okay with you, I'll put your monthly check-in down for that date. Is there a particular time that would work best for you? Okay. And of course, if that ever becomes inconvenient for you, just let me know and we can change it. Okay? Well, it was truly a pleasure meeting you and working with you today. Yeah, well, thank you so much for using our New Year's resolution coach service. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, okay? And Happy New Year.